My name is Nicole Hines. I am a partner in Former Plus Ladder Fabrics. Monique is my sister, and so the two of us together have opened Former Ladder Fabrics.
I'm Monique Miller, and I am Nicole's sister, and yeah, we opened the store together. Both of us grew up sewing. Our mom sewed all of our clothes. Sorry, that's not true. Not all of our clothes, but I mean, if you think about like grad dresses or um, even just like stuff to wear to school, mom sewed a great deal of our clothing, and at that time it was, for economic purposes. She was able to do it economically, and we were three girls, so she would sew something for Danielle, who's our oldest sister, and then it would sort of make its way down through. So it was commonplace in our house. We remember hearing mom, sewing late at night. She often was in front of the TV unpicking something or knitting or whatever. So it was sort of a part of the culture of our homes. Nicole and I both, after high school, went off to creative fields. I did industrial design, and Nicole went the clothing and textiles route, and we both got degrees and sort of worked in those creative fields. And then life just happened, bills and kids and maybe those the jobs weren't available that we're sort of fitting the bill in those fields. And so we both went off sort of into more corporate careers. And we did that for a long time, and it served its purpose. But I think over years and years and years, we lost something. Just something was missing. We weren't making time for the things that sort of, I guess, I don't know, filled us up, like made us feel good, like those, and I think, at least for me, I thought that I became an engineer, and I thought for a long time that filled the creative sort of void, but just not in the same way, like not in a tactile, truly creative way. And so this had always kind of been a pie in the sky sort of like dream for Nicole, like, oh, maybe in retirement I'll open a fabric store, because there used to be quite a few in Edmonton that were, really awesome, and even in Calgary for that matter. And though they sort of went by the wayside over the years. And so really and truly, like COVID hit, and our family suffered a significant loss. And both Nicole and I went through a process of reevaluating what it was that we wanted for ourselves moving forward. And those things gave us a great deal of perspective, both the loss and COVID. And we sort of just said, you know what, like, instead of living today for a future we may not have, let's just like drag it into today. So we just said, we're going to do it. Like, we're just going to start the fabric store. And it's a bit terrifying, and it's all brand new to us and a very steep learning curve, but we have great experience and lots of life experience to sort of get us there, and we're just going to work away at it. And that's sort of how it all started. And we both feel really passionately about making our own clothes, and being really intentional about what we want to wear and how we want to build our wardrobes. And we feel really passionately about bringing fabrics that you just can't get your hands on specifically for garment making to an audience here. So that's, it's really important to us to bring really great quality materials to people here who have either a similar background or similar desire to just get their hands dirty and start making stuff and drafting patterns, and really enjoying the process of creating their own clothing.
We want to create an environment within our fabric store and a community in Edmonton where people can kind of ask each other the questions that you don't normally get to ask someone else when you're sitting sewing by yourself. We're so lucky that we have each other. We can bounce ideas off of each other, and we often do as we're sewing, but it can be kind of a solitary thing that people do, and just similar to knitting or some of the other things that those creative fields. But we really want to be able to create an environment where people can come in and chat with us and have questions answered. We're hoping at some point in time to do classes too, to again try to build that community. So, there's a lot of sewists out there. We know that for a fact. We've seen a lot of them as they're starting to learn about us. But yeah, people are really excited about sewing again, which is awesome. They're excited about creating the things that they really want to wear as opposed to being stuck in whatever retail environment is offering them. And again, I think a lot of it also goes back to not participating in fast fashion. We don't necessarily want to go out and support the businesses that are, feeding that fast fashion machine. So for us, if we can provide those really good quality fabrics that people are going to be happy with and will create a garment that will last them a really long time, that's our end goal, really. Our fabrics are specifically for garment sewists. So we did not want to bring in quilting fabric. There's lots of incredible quilting stores that exist in Edmonton and area already, but we wanted to focus specifically on garment construction. It's the thing that I was focused on when I was doing my degree in clothing and textiles. It was creating those things that I wanted to create and then wear out in the world. So it's specifically for garment focused construction. And we're trying to bring in the highest quality fabric that we can that will serve a purpose for people, not for everyday usage, but really good stuff that, again, when you invest the time and effort to create a piece of clothing, you don't want the fabric to wear out after however long or not perform the function that you needed it to perform. So we have a lot of people that come in and ask us like, hey, I'm looking to buy this. What's an appropriate fabric for that item? So then in that way we can kind of help them choose, and then they'll have success and want to come back and do it again. One of the most frustrating things about sewing sometimes is that you get it to a certain point and it doesn't fit the way you wanted to, it doesn't look the way you wanted it to, and then you can kind of lose that sojo, that desire to continue to sew. So we want people to have success with that, and if we can help in that way with our fabrics or with help along the way, that's really who we're looking for.
Right now with our product offering, I would say it's mostly for people who want to sew sort of their everyday clothes that they want to live in. So it's a lot of, we have denim, we have t-shirt, knit, like jersey, we have French terry for, sweat, lounging. We have a lot of prints for, blouses, dresses. We're going to be bringing in some really nice cottons for same thing, blouses, dresses. And then we also have shirting. And so that's another thing that I want to point out is that, we really do want to be inclusive. We know that the vast majority of people, of sort of consumers in this space, are female, probably of a certain age. But our nephew sews, and we see so many diverse people wanting to get into this space. And so it's really important for us to offer fabrics that are for everyone, and that everyone is welcome. So any walks of life, you want to come sew some garments, like come see us, right? And we're also looking for people who want to provide feedback, who want to say to us, like, we're looking for this and we can't find it. And, and really having it be a conversation with our customers as well, so that we can be what they want us to be, because they're the ones we're here for. I think globally and culturally, there's a lot more conversations about gender diversity, and we don't want to pigeonhole our customers into being a particular, gender or age or anything like that. So I can just say that we've had customers so far that range from, I can't remember how young, but we had a young female girl come in, and she bought some of our stretch organic cotton twill, and she made a pair of jeans. Like, we're talking like little, all the way to, we have some male customers who come in and get our merino jersey to make garments. And so we're seeing more of that, where, across the whole age range, and genders coming to sew, and we want to create a space that's open to that. So we're careful in terms of our marketing and how we want to present our store, so that it is a place that's comfortable for everyone to come. And that's something that's really important to us. So we understand where the market is now, but we want to make sure with the decisions that we make as we move forward, that anyone can come and see us. Yeah. And we've sewn a lot. Like, we've sewn a lot for, Nicole has sons, and she actually used to work at a custom men's suit company here in town. So Nicole has a lot of familiarity with sewing and constructing garments for all ages and genders as well. So yeah.
Yeah, the only other thing I was going to say too, I think that the pandemic really did kind of expand, and Instagram and social media and the way things are happening in that space has really expanded, I think, the market as well. There were a lot of, when pattern companies were only the four that you could get from Fabricland or Fanny's or wherever, you had to go there to get that. Whereas now I mean, the number of indie pattern designers is astronomical. We can't keep track of them. There's just so many of them because it opened up this incredible world for a stay-at-home mom who knows how to pattern draft to create a fun pattern, put it out there in the world. There's lots of other people who have created patterns too that you wouldn't think have those skills, but because the capital outlay for somebody to actually do that is not very big. If you have a computer and you have some skills and you can scan some stuff into your computer, you can create a pattern. So it's pretty incredible that those are being offered now. They're typically a lot more size inclusive too. People have been very cognizant about making sure that their size ranges are expanded. So it's not just, size 2 to 14. It's, massive, much, much bigger than what it has been previously. So it's just far more accessible to far more people. And I think that that's kind of spurred a lot of young folks who never really thought that they would want to sew into doing it themselves. It's another creative field that people can explore and, make some mistakes and learn and grow and then create something that they're excited about.
We bring in raw denim, which is denim that hasn't been washed or processed at all. So it's sort of straight off the loom. So we have the Japanese denim and mills that we have from our Kuroki, Kaihara, to name a few. We also bring in an Italian denim, Candiani. Candiani is awesome. If you do any research into their company, they're really on the forefront of trying to produce denim sustainably. Cotton in the past has had sort of a little mired history when it comes to sustainability, but they're really doing some amazing advances, and it's really gorgeous denim. So denim is a big one for us. We've brought in those. We try to bring in a real range, both in stretch and non-stretch, for people who want that kind of denim to make jeans that will last and fade, in a certain way. And denim is amazing because there's such an opportunity to be really creative with it, and mending and, top stitching and all that kind of stuff. We have a line of merino wool that we brought in from New Zealand. It's from a place called the Merino Collective. It's 100% merino wool. The wool is guaranteed to come from sheep in Australia and New Zealand, and it is manufactured in Australia. And they're producing to sort of the highest standards from like ethical treatment of the animals and then ethical production. So that's really, really amazing. We love that their story and just that we can guarantee to our customers where that merino wool is coming from. And it's really gorgeous stuff and awesome to work with. So we love it. We're also bringing in some fabrics from Europe that we haven't generally been able to get our hands on here in North America. We have some suppliers from Belgium, which is Stragier. They have just really gorgeous cottons. We're bringing in like Ecovero viscose prints from some suppliers like Atelier Brunette, which is a brand out of Paris, and theirs is all produced in India. We have Lady McElroy, which again is sort of they're a British manufacturer, and they produce cotton lawns, which are generally a little harder to get your hands on, but are appropriate for so many garments that people would like to make, but they can't necessarily find the materials for, like dresses and blouses, and they come in gorgeous prints. We have several lines from Denmark manufacturers, both Mind the Maker and Meat Milk. And both of those lines of fabrics, their goal is to create really amazing basics in really beautiful color ranges. And they produce in Turkey and lots of different places throughout Europe, and they're really gorgeous fabrics, specifically for garment making again.
We are located currently in the Studio 72 space on 72nd Ave and 99th Street. So we operate out of a tiny little studio in there. We're 140 square feet. So we've got an awful lot of fabric put in a very small space, but we are actually currently finalizing a lease to move into a bigger space. It won't be far from there. So we're kind of in the south of Edmonton, and we've been fairly strategic about making sure that we are located next to some of the other fabric offerings. So there's a fabric line close by. People know about Marshall's fabrics. We're fairly close to that. We offer different things. We've been fairly intentional also about offering different garment fabrics than what they offer. We don't want to just replicate the same thing. We're looking to offer different things. And then we have a website online too. It's formerlatterfabrics.ca. The online business is there more kind of just as an offshoot to our store. We have the store, we're dedicated and determined to be in Edmonton and to have a location that people can come to, but it's nice to have the online store as well. People can look at it, they can look at the fabrics in the comfort of their own home and then come in to see us. So we're currently only open 8 hours a week. So we're open on Tuesdays from 1 till 3 p.m., on Thursdays from 5 till 7, and Saturdays from 10 in the morning till 2 p.m. But likely when we move into the bigger space, we'll have a bigger offering of hours. Our Instagram handle is at formerlatterfabrics as well.